Gary Rowett sat down for his first pre-match press conference of the new season on the eve of Blues' opener against Cardiff City at St Andrews. And as always, there was a sense of positivity of what the upcoming campaign could bring.
You turn up full of excitement, a little bit of trepidation, a little bit of nerves. I think the players will all be the same because you don't quite know what's going to come. And that's the beauty of it. That's why we're all in the game. You know, it's that first game, that excitement, the fans there, the atmosphere. So it's brilliant. I'm looking forward to it immensely. And I'm hoping for another really, really positive start to the season like we had last year. We know it's going to be tough. It's always a tough league. But that never changes, you know, and it's about what we do and it's about how we approach things. But yeah, I'm really positive about the pre-season we've had and the players will certainly be ready.
2 10th place finishes has seen Blues establish themselves in the top half of the division in recent years, but Rowett is hoping that this time around they can push on that bit further.
It's a funny one because when you're up and around it and there's 10 games to go, and you've almost got nothing to lose because we were never quite at that point in the race, but we weren't quite out the race, if you know what I mean. So I think I made 2 or 3 signings at that point to really just see if we can get some extra into the team. And sometimes then you lose a little bit of continuity. Whereas if you look at the start of the season, I think we picked the same team for the first 8 or 9 games, and you get real consistency about the way you play. So, you know, that will start again. I think it's a very different season. I don't think we can assume that because we started well last season, that's automatically going to happen this. So we've got to work incredibly hard to make it happen. But we've got a good squad. We've got some really good youngsters coming through, which I think has been a massive positive with pre-season so far, and we will still add to the squad, you know. So I'm incredibly positive as always at the start of a new season. I mean, since I've come into management, I think my first season we improved towards the end of the season. I came in halfway through and ended up finishing a little bit higher than we started. The next season we're in the playoffs. The season after we got in the playoff final. The season we come in at Birmingham, we went from 2nd to bottom to 10th. Last season we weren't out the top 10, so I think we've improved wherever we've been every single season. This season is going to be probably the biggest challenge yet, but that's what we aim to do. You know, for me, it's listen. If I stand here and say I want to get in the top 10 again, you know, then I'd probably have to go outside and slap myself in the face. You know, because that's not ambition. That's not ambitious. And if I'm asking the players to be better, and I'm asking the players to improve, which is what we've done. Then we need to improve as staff and we need to improve as a club as well. So I think the playoffs, once again, is our target. We're hoping that we can sustain a challenge for longer this season. You know, and that's going to be the target, of course.
Cardiff will be familiar opponents for Blues after ending last season with a 1-1 draw in Wales. But Rowett is expecting a different test from Cardiff this time around under new manager Paul Trollope.
No, I expect a different setup. I played with Paul at Derby. You know, he's a really good lad. Excellent coach, got good experience. Obviously been away with Wales, which I'd imagine probably the fact that Wales stayed in the tournament for so long. Obviously after the first game didn't surprise anybody, but probably surprised Cardiff and Paul, I'm sure, because I'm pretty sure he'd have missed the first couple of weeks of pre-season. But the games we've watched, you know, they've played a very similar way to Wales at times. Obviously Paul will put his own stamp on that, but you know, they've played with a back 5 and they've played with a lot of rotation in the front forward areas. But again, listen, I don't take that as a gospel that they're going to play that way, but I think we'll be ready. We've got plenty of reports and whatnot. But I think it's about what we do in the first home game of the season and how we approach the game. But again, we'll always be mindful that Cardiff will be a strong team with some really, really good players.
After a positive pre-season, Rowett is also expecting to see improvements from individual players within his squad, whilst also remaining confident of adding new quality to it.
I think the fact that we've had some players last season, I would expect this season that I think Ryan will be in a different position in terms of his fitness and his preparation. I think Robert Tesh will be in a similar position. I think you look at Diego, will be stronger this year for the pre-season he's had. So I don't think we were miles away last season. I mean, Dave Cottrell and Clayton struggled at certain points for various reasons. I think they'll both come back very, very strong. So I think we'll be a stronger team for it. Of course, we haven't got John Torale this season. We haven't got Damari starting the season. But again, you know, over the next few weeks, we'll certainly be bringing players of that ilk, hopefully, into the team. But I think we're a stronger team this year. We'll be more competitive, certainly.